Free speech is still a distant dream for we filmmakers. Make your entertainment products cater to idiot India who want just senseless candy floss, popcorn entertainment. We will come down on you, gag you up and punish you for doing that. You have an evil society where you don't mind using the other person as a means to your end. When I make movies, yes, I make a murder too, because that's what you want to see. When I make a saransh, you don't come to see it.
Once again, the cultural Talibanisation is happening in India once again with the entire controversy surrounding Aarakshan. It's released today. We have with us the man himself, Mahesh Bhatt, one of the very few voices in Bollywood who have the guts to speak out against such matters. Sir, pleasure having you back on Bollywood Hungama, first of all.
Thank you.
आप लगातार मेरी जात, मेरी औकात का मजाक कर रहे हैं और उसके बावजूद ये पेपरवेट अपने जगह पर पड़ा रहा। मैनर्स नहीं होते तो आपके सर पे आपके इंस्टीट्यूट का नाम छाप दिया होता अब तक।
What are your first reactions when you see that a film has been banned in 3 states, that is Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh? Most of the people who are doing all that, they haven't even seen the film.
It's indeed sad that as we inch towards our 64th Independence Day celebration, free speech is still a distant dream for we filmmakers. When the founding fathers got freedom for us, it was ensured to every Indian that free speech will be the lifeblood of free India. It's ironic that the people whom we have put in the seat of power to safeguard that free speech are themselves violating our free speech. And it was Dr. Ambedkar who was the man who sat down and promised the people of India the right to free expression. Political bosses of the day are using the name of that greatest son India created as a tool for their lust of power. And that is what has taken a very heavy toll on Prakash Jha's Aarakshan. In Mumbai, thanks to the intervention of Prithviraj Chauhan Sahab, whom I personally contacted when Prakash called me up, and then we kind of interacted with Jagan Bhujbal Sahab and Mr. Athawale of the Republican Party, that the matter was diffused. Can you imagine a filmmaker releasing a film of this kind, with this budget, with this kind of stature, with UP out, Punjab out, Hyderabad out.
Biggest markets.
It's a kind of a kiss of death on the day you're born. Plus the menace that you have created and the kind of worry that is there in every heart that, oh, if you go and see the film, maybe the goons will come and target us. So let's stay away. So I think what's important is to understand whether there is a rule of law in this country or not. You know, after 40 years, we finally got a chairperson, Leela Sampson, and her censor board team are one of the most spectacular people. They have people with integrity, people with guts. They have given the certificate, they stand by it. They went out and said that on record, on various forums, on television screens, that we find nothing offensive in the film. The board the board consisted of 9 people.
From the various lower castes and all.
They found nothing offensive, and after that, if you have to run from pillar to post, then how do you conduct your affairs?
In fact, we were supposed to do an interview with Mr. Prakash yesterday morning and we met him. He just politely requested that those interview cancel karna padega. He had to go to meet Mr. Athawale at that point of time. So I could see the worry lines on his face at that point of time as well. Anyone who's just planning to make films with, say, serious subjects and having certain commercial ingredients into it.
Faridun, you said it. You just took my words out of my mouth, because now the writing is on the wall. I mean, in any case, after the Zakham experience, my brother, who is the business head of the company, said that, look, we can't afford these kind of indulgences of yours, making films which are connected to the ground reality of our country.
ये बात जख्म समझकर छुपाने की नहीं है। नहीं है ये बात जख्म समझकर छुपाने की। ये तो दुनिया को चीख चीख कर बताने की बात है। प्यार तो ये था अजय, ये प्यार था।
We had to run from pillar to post when we made Zakham. At that time, the NDA was in power, and we thought that they were fascist. But now there is a secular party. Thank God that the Ministry of Information Broadcasting gave the censor board chief all the support. But the states in which the film went for screening put their foot down. So I would say the signals that are going through the trade are make your inane entertainment products cater to idiot India, crime.
You're saying
sex.
idiot India?
Yeah.
Cater to idiot India. That's interesting point. All right.
Who want just senseless candy floss, popcorn, entertainment, anything which is mature, anything that raises the bar, anything that has a dissenting view, not the prescribed acceptable view. You dare not bring it in this form in the landscape, the media landscape. We will come down on you and gag you up and punish you for doing that. So ultimately, film industry consists of film producers are businessmen. They don't make money only to serve the cause of the society. They don't mind doing an interesting subject provided they don't burn their fingers.
So, in fact, there was a very interesting parallel cinema movement in the late 70s and 80s. You were part of that in a big way as well. Saransh and many other films of yours that have come at that point of time. Janam, I think, was a beautiful film. When such things happen, anyways, if you're making meaningful cinema, there are less bias for it anyways. There are a whole lot of other interests and obligations at that point of time. But somewhere when these kind of things happen, I'm sure that industry must be going through a tough time. But at the same time, there is a perception that industry is to be blamed in a big way for all this as well, because many cases they don't stand for each other. We've seen it in My Name is Khan controversy. You were the very few voices. In fact, Pooja Bhatt spoke to us and she just lashed out.
That's the problem. We don't come together as a community. But there is a movement now. I'm told that the Guild, Film Producers Guild, my brother is the Vice President, Mahesh Bhatt. He was saying that he's trying to rally support from South and all the other states, support of producers. Once the issue of Aarakshan kind of dies, it's not Aarakshan specific. They want to deal with this problem of these extra constitutional bodies coming in after the picture is given a censor certificate at the last minute, and then using their tactics to bully you, to convert things to their advantage. And what do? We're going to ask people who are in charge, how do you resolve this problem?
But more perception has been that in many ways, the people from the film industry, at times they have the guts to maybe say something through their films in terms of some message to the society, which you have done with your films. I think Prakash Jha has made an attempt with quite a few of his films as well. But at the same time, there is a perception that the film industry, they tend to just cozy up to the politicians to ensure that their films, they just release peacefully. I'll give you an example. Amir Khan shows Delhi Belly to Raj Thackeray to ensuring that all the expletives and all, there's no hullabaloo over that. Even Mr. Bachchan has been close to Shiv Sena and Mr. Bal Thackeray.
Merely by looking after your own interest, the problems will not end. If you don't stand up for your brother when he's in trouble, this is going to happen to you. It's not a philosophical comment of mine. That's the way the world has functioned. The community feeling is disappearing. Not only in the film industry, everywhere in India. And that's a tragedy. We live in dangerous times where we have no empathy. And that's what evil is. When empathy erodes, you have an evil society where you don't mind using the other person as a means to your end. You don't give a damn. So these are the times that we are living in, and I think we as a community need to do something.
So, in fact, one more thing I would like to point out, that the fact is that at the end of the day, a film industry is an industry. It should be considered a business. It's in the interest of everyone involved that there is a certain amount of certain bodies, certain uniformity, a certain togetherness in just tackling issues and maybe at least putting up a front that people are together. But the fact is that there are so many divisions within the film industry. on a Thursday, if there is a screening and all, the way the SMSs start doing the rounds, picture bakwas hai, ye hai, wo hai, pulling their own peers down.
Rivalry is a fact of life. This is not a fairy land.
In the interest of their own interest, shouldn't they be just having certain togetherness and maybe just behaving like an industry?
Minimum standards you need to adhere to. You may not wish your rival the best, but you can't go about orchestrating his destruction even before his film has begun to perform in the cinema hall. But everybody says that he has been a victim of this. Everybody says the problem is with the other. But you being what you are, the other is going to be exactly a reflection of you. So, if you refrain from doing all that, then the world can perhaps be a little better around you. But the problem is you want the other to be okay, but you won't begin yourself.
Why does it happen that each time anything of this sort happens, that the politicians, they try to just thwart? The idea is that politicians feel that the film industry, the film people, they're soft target and they should be dumbs. As you said, they should be just catering to the idiot India in terms of candy floss and all. They should not have a voice. But at the same time, the fact is, why only few faces like a Mahesh Bhatt, recently Anurag Kashyap, has been Ashok Pandit, and there are very few faces that we see on television or speaking out. Why only few? In fact, you've known to have certain differences, Mr. Bachchan, in your personal life earlier, and you've had your share of print discussions and stuff like that, but you come and just save a film which is starring Mr. Bachchan.
Well, I think the answer is very clear. I mean, a larger issue is at stake.
Right.
My right to free speech. If his right to free speech is violated, it also in a way impacts my right to free speech.
Right.
Because if there's a rapist in your backyard, if you rape somebody else's child, your child is not safe. So it's for survival that you need to get up and do something to deal with him.
You said that since post Zakhm, you've stopped like really making films, as Mr. Mukesh Bhatt said as well, that make stuff which is not controversial.
No, I told him, he didn't tell me. I told him, I said, let's make films which are pitched to the sensibilities of people who come to consume pure entertainment. Now, our idea of entertainment will be different from somebody else's idea of entertainment. And because serious introspective cinema is now junked into the dustbin of history. That's what the figures keep scream out and say.
One time you're defending other people, you're just standing up against the fascist forces, just speaking up your mind. But if you yourself will stop making films which are meaningful, don't you think that you are setting a wrong precedent as well somewhere? Because it's not necessary that...
How can I make products, put my hard-earned money? I made a film called Dhoka. It was a very important film. It was a very significant film, a very powerful film.
Pooja Bhatt directed it.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that film. It dealt with the issue of insurgency. It put the state into the dock and said that you are responsible for the Muslims in that part of the world, Kashmir, going berserk and then thinking of becoming suicide bombers. And what happened? Nobody came to see the film. We put our own hard-earned money.
आपकी बीवी की मरने की वजह उन लोगों से कुछ अलग थी. She was not a victim. She was the suicide bomber.
उस पे बार-बार इल्जाम लगा देने से मेरे ज़मीर पे रखा हुआ बोझ कम नहीं होने वाला.
I would rather stand up with a Dalit in Jhajjar and fight for his cause, or stand up for my Muslim brother, or for a Pandit in Jammu, or for anywhere where human dignity is being trampled upon, than make only movies, because movies of these kinds should not seem to go well with the people that go and see films. That's a blunt truth.
In your personal opinion, maybe you don't want to make that kind of cinema anymore, but do you feel that cinema has the potential? I'm not talking about any other art, I'm talking only about cinema. Does it have a potential to maybe bring in a change within the society? And is it possible in India?
If books and movies could change this world would be a paradise. People all over the world want happiness, not the truth. Tell me God is in heaven and all is well with the world. Or at least it'll get all right and everything will be fine. Don't tell me the painful truths that even 64 years after we have got independence, freedom of speech is not guaranteed even to the most powerful people in this country. Yeah, fight in your own way to make the dreams of your founding fathers into a reality. I'm doing it in the real world But when I make movies, yes, I make a murder too, because that's what you want to see. When I make a Saaransh, you don't come to see it. When I make a Zakhm, you don't come to see it. When I make a Tamanna, you don't come to see it.
But sir, there's a Wednesday which is happening these days. There's a Mumbai Meri Jaan which is happening these days, and they are recovering their
They're
cost.
not box office blockbusters.
They're not blockbuster, but at least they're recovering their costs, sir. And it's not a losing proposition.
I've done that in my. I've had my belly full of that kind of cinema, and I can't expect the youngsters to make that kind of film when it doesn't come to them naturally.
Finally, sir, if you just like to just express your thoughts and maybe convey to the film fraternity and maybe convey to the politicians how you see at this entire controversy of Aarakshan, and do you see that the Supreme Court?
I don't think the discourse should be reduced to us against them. Right. I was talking to the Dalit representatives who were outraged that you are our brothers. I've never looked at you as the other. I mean, can't we sit down and work out ways where we can resolve the problems, where the right to free speech, which was given by Dr. Ambedkar, is guaranteed to me and to you. Like there was a problem in Maharashtra, it was diffused brilliantly with the help of Prithviraj Chauhan Sahab, Bhujbal Sahab got into it, Athawade got into it, and finally it was resolved. Prakash gracefully conceded that I will cut out one scene, trim some shots. But the others did not give him that opportunity. He's willing to go to those committees and place his point and convince them or get convinced and make the changes. For God's sake, don't kill his film.
Don't you think that is a violation of freedom of speech as well? So why does a filmmaker whose film has been passed by the censor board?
I'm saying that is an ideal situation. You're talking, your neck is not on the block.
Talking about realistic stuff.
The fact is today, Latur had problem in Maharashtra despite the Chief Minister of Maharashtra saying everything is okay. Bhujbal Sahab saying everything is okay. Athawade saying everything is okay. The round truth is something different from what our fantasy about freedom is. And filmmakers, when they face Judgment Day, they deal with cold realities. And the reality that my friend Prakash Jha is staring at is not at all comfortable. It's painful.
And a lot of money is at stake. It's a big film, in fact.
Paid service without guarantee.
ये शाइनिंग इंडिया है। यहाँ ऊंची शिक्षा के लिए ऊंचे लोग कोई भी ऊंची कीमत देने को तैयार है।
शिक्षा की ये पैरेलल कमर्शियल व्यवस्था जो कोचिंग और कैपिटेशन के आधार पर तेजी से पनपती जा रही है, नष्ट कर देगी सब कुछ।
That was Mr. Mahesh Bhatt talking about the entire controversy surrounding Aarakshan, and how he says that maybe it's a bit unrealistic to feel that you can't really throttle even the politicians. You'll have to have maybe a middle ground till the time some sort of arrangement is done between the film industry as well as the government of maybe central government. Ideally it should be, and it should be just percolating to all the state governments as well. He's also said that why he stopped making serious meaningful cinema post Zakhm, because it's not something that really appeals to too many people.
Because you guys don't go and see it.
Because many of you guys don't go and see it, and he sees that primarily films are generally made for idiot India, which caters to fluffy stuff.
When I say idiot India, doesn't mean idiot. I am an idiot. I mean, I want entertainment. An idiot is not a bad word after 3 idiots have been released.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Lovely to have you on Bollywood Hungama. As always, very enlightening discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And all the best wishes for all your future ventures. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
इस देश में 2 भारत बसते हैं।